Imagine if a brand new bridge that Canada paid billions to build, named after a hockey legend loved on both sides of the border, suddenly gets held hostage by the US President himself. Donald Trump just threatened to block the Gordie Howe International Bridge from ever opening unless America gets fully compensated and Canada shows more fairness and respect. But here's the twist. Canada funded the entire $4.6 billion project, and the US already shares ownership through Michigan. Why threaten something that boosts trade for both countries? And at the exact same time, millions of unsealed Jeffrey Epstein files are dropping bombshells, naming top officials in Trump's own administration. Billionaires like Elon Musk and Bill Gates, and even thousands of mentions of Trump himself. These aren't just old rumors, they're fresh documents, sparking resignations, investigations, and massive public outrage. If you're in the US or Canada, these two stories could hit your wallet, your job, your gas prices, and even your trust in government. Stick around, because in this deep dive analysis, we'll break it all down simply, step by step, so anyone can understand exactly what's happening, why it matters to you, and what might come next. Let's get into it. First, the tariff war and the bridge drama. It's heating up fast and affecting everyday people right now. Back in early February 2026, Trump posted a long message on Truth Social saying he won't let the Gordie Howe Bridge open until the US gets paid back for everything we've given Canada and until Canada treats America fairly. This bridge connects Detroit, Michigan to Windsor, Ontario. It's designed to handle massive truck traffic, easing congestion on older crossings and moving about $100 billion worth of goods every year. Think cars, auto parts, oil, steel, the stuff that keeps factories running and shelves stocked in both countries. Canada built it completely with its own money through a public-private partnership, and revenues from tolls get split between the two sides. Trump even supported the idea during his first term, talking about building more bridges with Canada. But now, in his second term, he's flipped. Aggressive tariffs on Canadian goods, threats to scrap or renegotiate the USMCA trade deal, and this bridge blockade talk. Why does this matter to regular folks? For Canadians, especially in Ontario, higher tariffs mean imported American products like food, electronics, or machinery cost more at stores. Factories that rely on cross-border supply chains could cut jobs or slow production. Gas prices in Michigan could spike because the US imports a ton of Canadian oil. Around 43 million barrels a week flow through pipelines and crossings near there. If trade slows, drivers pay more at the pump. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer has already spoken out, saying she's talking to Canadian officials and pushing back against the threats. Ontario's Premier Doug Ford went on TV saying the bridge will open no matter what. It's too important economically. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney didn't back down. He had what he called a positive phone call with Trump, calmly reminding him that Canada paid for the bridge, used both Canadian and US steel and workers, and that ownership is shared. Carney's bigger move came at international meetings like the Munich Security Conference and earlier at Davos. He's pushing Canada to diversify trade away from over-reliance on the US, which takes about 70% of Canadian exports. He's talking up new partnerships with Europe, Indo-Pacific countries, even limited tariff cuts with China in specific sectors. Not a full trade deal, but enough to protect Canadian industries from US pressure. Carney warns the world is in a rupture. Old rules are breaking, tariffs are being weaponized, and middle powers like Canada need to build new alliances for energy, defense, AI, and critical minerals. Analytically, this is smart. If Trump keeps escalating, Canada reduces risk by opening other doors, but it also shows how fragile the US-Canada relationship has become, once the closest allies, now trading threats like this. On the US side, Trump's approval rating is struggling. Polls in February 2026 show it hovering around 36% approve, with disapproval in the 55 to 62% range from places like AP Nork, Pew, and others. That's low, even compared to tough moments in his first term. Many voters blame economic uncertainty from tariffs, higher costs for businesses, potential job shifts in border states, and fears of a broader trade war hurting growth. Trump uses these moves to rally his base, saying he's protecting American workers and forcing fair deals, but critics say it's backfiring. Internal divisions in Congress, some Republicans pushed back on certain tariffs, market jitters, and real pain for consumers. Ahead of the 2026 midterms, if the economy feels worse, this could hurt Republican chances. Now shifting to the Epstein files, the other massive story shaking things up. In late January and into February 2026, the U.S. Department of Justice released over 3.5 million pages of documents under a new transparency law pushed through Congress. This includes thousands of videos, 180,000 images, emails, flight logs, and testimonies tied to Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking network. We're talking unredacted or less redacted material that names an incredible list of powerful people. Key highlights. President Trump is mentioned thousands of times, mostly in old tips to the FBI, news clippings shared by Epstein, or gossip about politics. Trump has denied wrongdoing, says he cut ties years ago, calling Epstein a creep, and no new criminal evidence against him surfaced here. But at least half a dozen current or recent Trump administration officials appear with varying connections, from single emails to longer communications. Billionaires like Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Sergey Brin, and Richard Branson show up in messages or visits. Britain's Prince Andrew gets more details on old allegations. Even figures like former advisors or business leaders face scrutiny. Why does this explode now? The sheer volume, millions of pages, fuels conspiracy talk, demands for more releases. Some say up to 6 million pages exist, and real-world fallout. Resignations from implicated people, new investigations, congressional reviews. For Americans, it erodes trust in elites across parties, seeing how the ultra-rich and powerful mingled with a convicted offender raises questions about accountability. Polls show huge public interest. Many view it as a democracy-threatening scandal, because it highlights unequal justice. For Canadians, the link is indirect but real. These US scandals influence border policies, immigration, and security talks. Carney uses the moment to push stronger independent defense, announcing Buy Canadian plans for industry and partnerships abroad. Meanwhile, opposition leader Pierre Poilievre just got a huge boost. At the Conservative Party convention in late January or early February 2026, he won 87.4% support in a leadership review, despite the party's election loss last year. His strong speech rallied members. He's positioning as a tough alternative to Carney, especially on economy, and standing up to Trump-style pressure. Putting it together simply, the tariff bridge fight threatens shared prosperity. Higher prices, job risks, strained alliance. The Epstein files damage trust in leaders, spark outrage, and could lead to more political shake-ups. For everyday people in both countries, it's about real impacts. Your grocery bill, gas at the pump, job security, and faith that government serves everyone fairly. Carney is playing defense by diversifying. Trump is doubling down on America first. Poilievre waits in the wings for Canada. These aren't distant stories, they're connected to your wallet and future. What do you think? Is Trump protecting jobs or risking a recession? Are the Epstein revelations changing how you see power? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit like if this helped make sense of the chaos. Subscribe for more breakdowns and share with friends who need the full picture. Thanks for watching all the way. Stay informed, stay sharp. See you in the next one.